What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Myles. Now I'm going to tell you about a true life story about one time that I gave the UFC, the Ultimate Fighting Championship, $30,000. Now at this channel, there's nothing more than we love talking about money, fighting in a cage and winning money, buying real estate, smashing thumbs up buttons, subscribing. So I thought today would be a perfect topic to tell the true life story about that one time that I gave the UFC back 30 stacks. So let me put this story into perspective for you. The year is 2013, and I'm getting ready to fight Ramsey Nijem on UFC Fox 7. It's headlined by Benson Henderson and Gilbert Melendez. Now, leading up to this fight, I was 2-0 officially in the UFC. I won my finale fight on The Ultimate Fighter against Chris Saunders, and then I also beat Michael Johnson, where I was a huge underdog in that one, 3-1, and I upset him and won a decision. Now, financially, going into this fight with Ramsey, I really didn't have much money. I would spend all my money leading up until this fight training. You know, I was living in San Diego, training, living in the front room, spending all my money basically just to prepare for this fight. So to me, this was a big fight for me. I had a lot riding on this, not only with my career, but financially. And at this time, I was under the Ultimate Fighter contract, which you get paid yearly. And right now, at this time, I was at $8,000 to show and $8,000 if I win. And that's how the pay is structured with mixed martial arts and in the UFC for a majority of fighters. You get half your pay just to show up, and you get the other half if you win. Now, I ended up having a great night against Ramsey. We had a good back and forth first round, a lot of grappling, and then the second round I ended up catching him with a step back right hook and knocked him out clean. If you haven't checked out the fight, make sure to go check it out. It's a good one. Now, what happens after the fight is they raise your hand. Bruce Buffer says, "Winner, Myles Fury Jury," in front of all the fans, in front of the whole world, and then you walk out of the cage and they walk you into the back room. Now, what happens in the back room is, first things is the doctor comes and checks you out. So they push on your eyes, check your hands, ask you questions, just to make sure medically you're okay, or you might have to go to the hospital. Thank God on this night I didn't have to. I was healthy. And the next thing that happens is a guy comes up to you, and if you win, you get 2 checks. If you didn't win, you only get 1. So again, this night I was pumped because I know I was getting 2 checks. And he walked up and he handed me a check for $7,854, which was my show money. And this was basically a couple of deductions for medical fees were taken out. And he handed me my second check, and it was for $38,000. And when he handed it to me, I kind of did the look down, looked up at him, looked down, kind of looked around, and was like, all right, yeah, this is $30,000 more than I'm supposed to get, but nobody's saying anything. So I grabbed it, and at this time I still had my shirt off, my fight gloves on, and I'm walking backstage with my team. And I literally walk back into the dressing room and sit down, and I'm feeling a array of emotions, right? I got the win. I got my phone's blowing up. Everybody's saying congratulations. Got my first knockout in the UFC, and I'm still believing that I'm going to get that knockout of the night bonus, which was $50,000 at the time. So I still got that in the back of my head because I had the best knockout on the whole card. Now, side note, Yoel Romero ended up getting the knockout of the night, but I still think mine was better. He TKO'd somebody with a flying knee, and I knocked my opponent clean out. But anyways, they gave the bonus to Yoel. So I took my check and my clothes, and I went back to my hotel room to celebrate. Now, 30 grand at this time, I'm thinking, dude, I can do a lot of stuff with this. I can buy some more real estate. I can maybe get a newer car. I can take all the boys out to Chili's multiple times. So I'm pretty fired up. I'm like, dude, 30 extra grand. And my mind's making up a story you deserve it. UFC gave you this bonus because of your knockout. Even though it was just instantly, they gave it to you that same night. You deserve it. So I sat around, I thought about it, and I told my manager at the time, I said, hey, I think UFC overpaid me by $30,000. That's a huge accounting error. What should I do? And he kind of was like, hey, let's sleep on it. Let's enjoy the night. You won your third UFC victory. We went out and had a great after party, hung out with friends and family. And then I woke up the next day, and me and my manager, we decided, hey, it's not your money. They made a mistake. They overpaid you. So let's be honest. Let's be, truthful, and let's give them the money back. Now, right here, let me know, drop a comment below. Would you guys have given the money back? I'm going to tell you my thoughts on it and what actually happened, but let me know. If your boss came in and overpaid you $30,000 and they didn't even know and you could get away with it scot clean, would you do it? Or would you have good karma, good faith, and give it back and do the right thing? Drop that comment, let me know. And smash that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me remind you guys, at this time, I'm not making hardly any money. I mean, I'm making $8,000 a show and $8,000 to win. I'm still living in a front room. I'm basically on the come up, living like a broke college student. Hopefully that it's gonna pay off in the UFC. This is my third fight in, so I'm at a point where it's like, man, I really wanna start making some money, and $30,000 in one lump sum was the most I'd ever had in my hand at one time. So to give it back and not keep it was a big decision for me to make, and it was a tough one emotionally. My manager contacted the UFC, the matchmaker, and some of the guys behind the scenes that handle accounting and travel and everything. We told them of the scenario, and my first thought was, hey, hopefully they'd be like, Myles, you're being honest, dude, you had a great knockout, we didn't give you the bonus, the $50,000 bonus, just keep the 30 grand. That was my first initial thought, but being very naive in the game and in the sport, not understanding business, that isn't what happened. They basically said, oh, cool, man, Myles is a good dude. Don't cash that check. We're going to send you out a new check for $8,000 instead of $38,000, and we'll call it even. Thank you for doing that, man. You're actually a good dude, Myles. Yeah. Ended up not cashing that check. They sent me a new one, and I cashed that one. So I had my $8,000 to show, $8,000 to win, minus some deductions. So I had that money in the bank. But honestly, that was only enough money to really kind of put away, save like, 3, 4, 5 grand, and use the rest to get me until my next fight. Now, in the back of my head though, I'm hoping that UFC is going to send me a bonus behind the scenes, because what UFC will do sometimes, when you have a performance, if it's good, or even if you don't win, or even if you do win, but you don't get the knockout of the night or the performance of the night, they'll send you a check in the mail that you will get. So I was hoping that I would get a check in the mail for 30 grand. Like, hey, thanks for giving it back, man. You were honest. You deserved it. Again, you knocked out that dude really bad, and we overpaid you. You still gave it back. You showed us that you're a company man, that we can rely on you, you're trustworthy, and that you're a great fighter and you can put on great performances. Now, the bonus ended up coming, but it was only $5,000. And even though I really thought that I deserved a lot more, that's business 101. My employer made that decision. I had no control over it, and that's what they decided to give me, 5 grand. I was pretty mad when I got only $5,000. I definitely thought overpaying me to the side, that put that on the other side. My performance was beautiful. I went out there and I executed. I knocked this guy out cold in front of the whole world. I got millions of views. It was on ESPN. I mean, phone was blowing up, and I just felt like I deserved more. When you add in all the hours and preparation to get up to that point, and the platform that I was on, and that type of performance that I delivered, I just really thought that, man, I was worth that $50,000 bonus. And on top of that, you add in, they overpaid me 30 grand and I gave it back. I thought, hey, maybe just call it even. Just let them, keep the 30, send that in the mail, and we're good. But that isn't what happened. Now the real question is, if I was to have that same scenario happen today, would I make the same choice? If Bellator or UFC was to overpay me $30,000 and I could walk away scot-free and keep it, would I do it? And even though it's still tempting, I'm happy with the choice that I made, and I would still make that same decision today. To me, having morals, having values, doing the right thing, and having karma on your side is a lot more important than some quick, fast money up front. I know my worth. I know when I put in that work and I go out there and put it on the line, that good things are going to happen. When you come in prepared, you make the right decisions, and you work hard towards something, it's only a matter of time till God blesses you. And thank God, till fast forward today, I'm in a great place financially and a lot better than where I was then. It's based off the decisions that I've made with the fights that I've had and the money that I have coming in. So that's it, guys. That's the story. Make sure you guys drop a comment. Let me know. Would you do it? Would you keep the 30K and go ball out? Maybe go to the casino, throw it all on black? Would you go get, maybe a newer car, take a fancy vacation? Or would you give it back and basically suck it up and move forward? I want to know. Drop a comment below. Make sure, guys, if you're interested in any one-on-one coaching calls, check out the link in the description below. We can go over investing. We can go over mixed martial arts. I schedule them in when I have time, so jump on there while you can, because possibly the price may be going up very soon. Thank you for sticking with me through this whole entire video. Until next time.